In this week's episode, we're going to discuss what the market has done over the last few months and tie that into a current Wall Street Journal article about how stocks can be a risky long-term investment even when you're looking at 10 or 20 years. Let's roll.
Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, certified financial fiduciary, Tim Wood. Tim is a retirement and income planning expert, best-selling author of Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, member of the exclusive Ed Slott Master Elite IRA Advisor Group, and founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com. Tim uses an education-first approach with clients nationwide to ensure they understand their choices in planning their own safe money retirement. Tim focuses on wealth management, retirement income, tax and long-term care planning, and asset protection and growth strategies. And now, from the Safe Money Retirement Studio in Johnson City, Tennessee, your host, Tim Wood.
Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show. I'm Tim Wood, a certified financial fiduciary and asset and retirement protection specialist. How many of us have heard our entire lives that the stock market is a safe place to be long term? That yes, over a 1 month or 1 year or even a few year period, that you could have some significant losses, but that it always comes back. I mean, if you look over a 10-year period, it always comes back. You look over a 20-year period, it always comes back. Is that the truth? We're going to look at a current Wall Street article that was just published in March that actually shows that's actually not true and what the actual statistics are. We're going to look at that. And then we're also going to look at what's happened the first few months of this year in 2025 and what can you do to counter some of this craziness in the market that basically kind of seems to hang on every single word that our president has. That's what we're going to get into today. But first, if you don't already have a copy of my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, what are you waiting for? We will send you a copy absolutely free with no charge and no obligation so you can start planning your own retirement by knowing what's available out there. Just give us a call. It's toll-free from anywhere in the United States, 1-800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233, or just log on to our website at safemoneyretirement.com and request your free copy right now. So what's the truth about the statement that people make all the time? Hey, stocks are great long term. You got to look long term, son. That's, 10, 20 years, you're always going to make money. Are you? Now, there's a whole Wall Street Journal article. Anybody that subscribes to the journal can look back in the March 6th issue, or you can look online and find this article that spells it out completely. I'm not going to go through the whole article. That would take the whole time we have here today. But basically, no, that isn't the truth. There are 5 times in the history of the market that in a 10-year period, there actually has been a loss. And in some cases, it's been a pretty significant loss over those 10 years. And there's 2 times that same thing can be said for 20 years. So there's 2 times that from 20-year period, the market was down. So can you really count on that long term? Now, what I would say is it really depends on your definition of long term. If your definition of long-term is coming from a 20, 30, or 40-year-old and you're looking 20, 30, 40 years out for retirement, sure, absolutely, I agree. But if you are close to or in retirement, y'all have heard me say this before, that's the difference, is your time horizon. I talk about that in my book. The time horizon makes the difference in what you have to do as far as your plan. If you've got plenty of time, you've got plenty of time. But if you don't, you've got to make sure you don't. I mean, what if you go into retirement and we go into one of those sections of the market where it's down for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years? What do you do then? The other thing to keep in mind, y'all have heard me talk about this before, is that pesky market math y'all heard me talk about before. If you had 100,000 in an account, you lose 30%. Okay, you're down to 70. Oh, well, it'll come back 30%, no problem. 30% from 70 only gets you back to 91. You actually need between 42 and 43% growth to recover a 30% loss. So you include that with all of the potential volatility of, it not being a sure thing that 10 years or 20 years the market's going to be up. That's not a sure thing. And you couple that with everything that's going on this year. I mean, the market initially saw pretty strong performance in 2025. I mean, it started out pretty good, kind of building on the momentum of the renewed spirit of things are going to get better, and hopefully things can work out better this time, and everything's going to get in the right direction and all that kind of stuff. However, a lot of the different tariffs and trade policies and all this kind of stuff has really affected the market big time, as y'all know. And April was rough. As we know, April was really rough. There were some days that were the absolute worst that we've seen in years, many years. So what can you do? What can you do with knowing all of this if you are getting close to retirement or you're even starting to plan retirement? And I say someone in their 40s has a lot of time. Things are changing. I've got clients these days that are in their late 40s planning to retire at 52. Well, what can I do to have enough income from there till I can start getting Social Security? And then what if Social Security is not there? What can we do? We make a plan. That's what we do. I've got 30-year-olds I work with. I've actually got 20-year-olds I work with because they want to make sure they don't have to deal with this market volatility. So what can you do? Whether you're 20 or whether you're 65, what can you do? If you're just looking for growth, what you need to do is determine how much of what you've saved up for retirement is that you can't lose. How much of that, whatever it is, how much of your nest egg can you not afford to lose, period, no matter what happens? That portion that you cannot lose is what needs to be in one of our Safe Money retirement plans. Whether it is a growth plan that gives you growth with no chances of losses, and there's multiple ways it can grow, right? It can grow based on just a fixed rate. It can grow in a hybrid product that allows you to change from a fixed rate to a market index rate and go back and forth every single year on your anniversary date. It can be a product that's specifically for long-term care or for giving a life benefit once you're gone. Or it can be an income plan. That's the other big thing that you hear me talking about all the time, because happiness in retirement comes from income. Y'all have heard myself and Tom Hegna and everybody else say that. That's where your happiness comes from in retirement. So if we don't know that you've got enough income, let's get you into a guaranteed income plan, not have to worry about what the market's doing, have a guaranteed roll-up rate on that money until you decide to turn it on. What I mean by that is starting to get income from it, and it will then pay you an income for as long as you live, just like a pension. A lot of people actually call these self-directed pensions because that's basically kind of what they are. So what you need to really do is get out of that mindset that stocks are always safe over 10 or 20 years. Not true. Most of the time, yes. Most of the time that is true. And you'll hear me say, I'm in the market. I understand. You got to have as much growth as you can have. But you need to determine how much can you not afford to lose. Y'all have also heard me say this before. One of the general figures that I tell my clients is about your age. So for example, if you're 25, about 25% of your nest egg should be in something safe that you can't lose. If you're 50, about 50. If you're 60, about 60. And I would actually say by the time you get to 60, it might start to curve up a little above the age, because I would say someone at 60 probably wants to have more like 65 or 70% of their savings in something safe. We just need to determine what the best thing is. Just get with us. We will sit down with you, create a custom plan specifically for you to make sure you've got the best plan so you don't have to worry about all this volatility and you can enjoy a safe money retirement. Well, I must take a short break. This is Tim Wood, and you're listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
Do you have a 401k, IRA, TSP, or any other type of retirement account you don't want to leave exposed to the risk of market loss? Have you moved on from a previous employer and have your retirement money just hanging out there in an old plan? You've worked too hard to leave your retirement nest egg to chance. We can help you roll over your retirement account from your past or current employer with no tax consequences and get you in a plan that guarantees you'll never lose another penny of your retirement due to a market crash while still providing market-like gains. Call us now about our current bonus options on your retirement money with a safe, fixed indexed annuity. Imagine putting your money on an elevator that only goes up. It might stop on a few floors along the way when the market index goes down, but you won't go back to visit the lower floors. Our phone number is 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233. Call today and get your complimentary Safe Money Retirement Kit with all the details. There's no obligation, so call us now at 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233. You're listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood.
Welcome back. I'm Tim Wood, your host of the Safe Money Retirement Show. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist. In today's case file, we're going to look at the story of Frank and Alicia. Frank and Alicia were really, really great clients. They came in with a very specific need. Frank had been a firefighter his whole life. That was his entire career, was firefighter. She had had some jobs, but also spent a lot of time at home, taking care of the kids and getting them off to college and all that stuff. So most of their retirement was with Frank's. And what he was wanting to do was make sure they had enough guaranteed income for the rest of their lives. So what we did was we actually sat down, and Frank's specific type of plan. Now, pension plans are all different. So yours may be like this, yours may not. So it's something that we would have to check on a case-by-case basis. But with Frank's, he had the opportunity to take a large lump sum, or he could take he had different options. He could do, if it was just for him, here would be the amount every year. If it was for him and 75% survivorship to his wife, which means she'd get 75% of the money, it's this amount. 50%, it's this amount. So there were a lot of different options. And he came and said, well, what should I do? I mean, I've got all of this. Should I take this? Should I not take this? What should I do? And he also had some other accounts. But this was the main thing we were working on. What we did was we actually shopped for him. So we already knew what his pension plan was offering. That's great. Okay, let's look at that big bulk sum, that lump sum that they will give you, and let's shop that lump sum against all of these other A-rated companies in your state, and let's see if somebody comes back with something that's significantly better. Now, I would say in my experience, probably about 90-ish% of the time, we can find something, and sometimes it's significantly better. I mean, I've seen some that's hundreds of dollars more a month, along with other guarantees, like maybe an income doubler in a long-term care situation. If both parties pass away soon, all the money goes to a relative or whoever you've named as one of your beneficiaries, instead of it just going poof and going away. So there are a lot of other benefits, but I'm just talking just specifically about what's going to pay more. About 90% of the time, one of the outside companies will pay more, and sometimes it's a lot. And that's what's actually happened with them. We found them a plan with a very big A-rated company that you would know the name of, you've heard of your entire life, that paid them significantly more, several $100s a month more, for the rest of both of their lives with 100% survivorship. And it had the long-term care doubler built into it. So if either one of them ever get in a long-term care situation, that amount can double for up to 5 years as long as there's still principal left in the account. I will explain all of the details when we meet individually. But just know that there are plans out there that can help you get where you need to go and make sure you've got enough income. Now, how can this relate to you? What can you take from this story? Let's say maybe you've got a pension and you're wondering should I take this pension or should I let it go? Well, you need to look at your options. I mean, you may want to take it. What I always suggest to every single client, every single time, is this. when we're looking at a pension, get all of the information from that pension company first. Find out how much is the lump sum going to be? When would you get it? How much are the payouts going to be? If you don't have any survivorship, if you've got 50%, if you've got 75%, if it's done, in partials, how does that work? Because different pensions do partials. Get all of that information. Get all of it. Once you have all of it, then we've got all the meat that we need to go shop for you. We can go look at every single top-rated company in your state and shop it against what your pension plan is offering. Now, if the pension plan is going to be significantly better, you may want to stay there. Now, there are some other benefits to being with a top-rated life insurance company versus a pension plan, because we've all seen pension plans that have not made it, have not been managed properly. That's always a slight concern, but most pension plans are pretty stable and they're managed properly. But that always is a concern as well. But we can do is we can see what's going to get you the most benefit with the most ancillary benefits, like that long-term care, like the fact that if you and your spouse accidentally pass away in some, car wreck or something in 2 years after you've turned it on, well, if you're in your pension plan, poof, it's gone. If it's in one of these guaranteed lifetime income annuity plans, everything left in there goes to whoever you've named as your beneficiary, as long as it's set up properly, and we'd make sure it's set up properly. So if you've got a pension plan, make sure that you know that you are in the right plan by shopping with someone like us that will show you all of your options, and then you can know you have got the absolute best plan for you and for your specific situation. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market loss. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your income in retirement is guaranteed lifetime income and not if-come. Avoid any future market losses, plan for the potential of long-term care, and make wise planning choices so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call us now for your free copy of Tim's best-selling book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. Our toll-free number is 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233. Or log on to our site at safemoneyretirement.com for more information or to request your free book. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you online at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Obviously, by contacting us now, you are only taking the first step toward protecting your retirement. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed insurance professional. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Interest and other guarantees in annuity contracts are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance carrier that issued the contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice.